welcome everyone to episode 74 of the Unchained Vodcast, our final one for this season. What with Kriss's impending move, and we were almost to the end of our list of topics anyway. We decided it was either going to be this one or the next one anyway, so we decided to go ahead and cap it off here for the next couple of months here. So today we're going to talk about apps and add-ons and mods and whatnot. Just different mods for the game, both third-party and things that we would like to see even developed potentially by CSE. For Camelot Unchained, different ways to, well, you all know what mods are, to edit the interface, to control different things, to have added features and supplementary stuff for the game. So, thought first what we would do is start with what we know, or in this case, what we vaguely remember. Like, it's been a long time, and there's not a lot we super remember.
Yeah, but we still, at least one thing we know for sure is there is a mod squad.
There is a mod
that
squad.
has access to the API, and that helps them develop the UI. So.
And I'm sure eventually they'll be doing stuff other than just basic UI work. But for now, I mean, we haven't really heard much update-wise from them in a long time, so I don't know if they're still active or not.
They are.
Okay.
They probably are,
To some extent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I know that's like a mixed thing. Like, I know the wiki hasn't really gotten updates in a while. So it's hard to keep stuff like that going over long term. So I don't know.
Especially when there's not a lot to add regularly.
Another thing that we do and don't know at the same time, we do know that at one point they were working with the Discord chat API to create a very robust chat system.
Which is not going to happen.
Well, I don't know. Did we ever actually get a confirmation that was not going to happen?
Yeah, we have had a confirmation from JB because the Discord, the Game Gate, or can't remember the name of the
I know Discord basically canceled it on their end.
So they completely abandoned development of that in favor of what they call rich presence, which has nothing to do with the chat or anything. So they're going to do something else, but it's not going to be integrated into Discord apparently.
Okay, because originally, there was talk about doing that and using then you could use the Discord app for your chat conversations and everything in game and stuff, which would have been cool. Another thing that they have talked about that we actually did discuss a little bit, because we all want to remember them saying that we would have access to the API for websites and things of that nature, so that people can have build calculators and things on websites and stuff, and for apps and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't find the confirmation of that. I tried.
It's probably
been a long time. Yeah, exactly. It's probably in a stream. It's been a long time. We all had a vague recollection of it.
Yeah.
So that's about it. So let's just get started with questions. And my first one is already kind of addressed, because I was going to ask whether or not y'all had heard any confirmation on the Discord app stuff, because I hadn't caught that.
JB was the one in charge of it and in communication with Discord.
Yeah,
and
which is weird.
Unless I misunderstood what he said. It was never announced officially, but unless I misunderstood what he said, I believe it is at the moment. It's been completely abandoned on Discord side, which means it's abandoned on CU side, because they needed the plugin from Discord.
Which is weird, because as I recall, the Discord announcement was that they were no longer developing it, but they were going to continue working with their existing partners on it. And then we never heard anything else about it. So
it was way before Discord decided to go the Steam route and becoming more than just a communication app and going with a store and everything.
Yeah.
So
you can hear the enthusiasm rolling off of my voice. I am not amused. Anyway, so I will move on to my second question, which is more of a just fanciful and speculative one. which is what mods from other games would you love to see in CU, not as mods, but as actual in-house features of the game?
In-house feature, in-game features. Okay.
Things developed in-house, things developed by the
Yeah.
developers, and put
Yeah,
in
rather
as game features,
than mods.
rather than it being mods.
Easy to access like stats for damage meters and elements like that. There's no raids or no PvE raids, so your DPS meters are a little less of a priority, but just having all those cool stats.
Well, DPS meter is, at least I'm usually very much against DPS meters in PvE games, but at least the mandatory ones. But in this game, with the amount of customization you can do on your builds and on your abilities, I think a DPS meter is really important to test the efficiency with actual hard number, the efficiency of your abilities.
And they've confirmed at least that we have essentially DPS trackers and stats for individual abilities.
Yeah.
I do think that there may be ways that having similar stats per battle could be relevant as well. Having HUD customization, definitely any kind of UI customization would be nice. I especially that was actually in my list for this game as something I would like to see in-house as well, because with how I understand they're trying to do certain things with their UI that I tend to agree with, and I think they're right to prioritize how they're trying to set up the UI and stuff. But I can also appreciate that a lot of people may not want it. They may want to be able to add more bars, add more indicators for certain things, and change things up. And it would be nice to have that.
I would love something I haven't seen. Maybe WoW had it. I don't know. I haven't played it, so I haven't played it enough to remember. But something we had in EverQuest that was great visually is being able to change the theme of the UI, like the fluff around it, not just the bars themselves, but the actual theme around it.
WoW did have that, but it was built into each individual mod that changed whatever UI they changed.
Yeah, while in EQ you could. Yeah, while in EQ you could change the theme, so all the bars would have a different theme. The visuals around the bars, the actual UI style would change completely. That's something I would love to be able to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the things I would like to see, which we've actually discussed a little bit before, is character profiles. Just having when you inspect someone, having a tab so that they can put in bio information for their character and flip a tag for whether they're in character or out of character, because it's not something that I think is a very labor intensive feature to add to the game, whereas adding it third party as a mod is very labor intensive because every time they update the game, somebody has to go update that crap.
Right.
Like in WoW, there's actually 2 of them for WoW, and they get used by all the RPers because it's a great RP feature. But someone has to actively maintain that because like every other build breaks it.
Something for those who remember that, I'm linking it in chat. It's called Magelo, which was a EQ based character profile. Basically, you had guild and character profiles. You could see the whole inventory of the characters, both worn equipment and the actual inventory itself. So you could really see everything from your character directly in a website that you could access from anywhere.
Yeah, EVE Online also had the same thing. You could when you created characters in that game, you could inspect someone and see a lot of their stuff, but you could also see their character history for which guilds they belonged to over time, and how long when they joined, when they left, etc. You could see character profile information they put in there, like all kinds of stuff. It wasn't particularly robust, but they had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically just text boxes that you add to the profile, and having a way to flip an icon that indicates whether someone's in character or something, and that's pretty much it. It's not a crazy thing. Let's see.
Yeah, I really hope that the UI customization, the HUD customization, kind of turns out like how SWTOR did it to an extent. And SWTOR did theirs all in-house. That wasn't an add-on. They built their.
It's very customizable.
It's very customizable, where you can put things and how you can activate certain things in certain places. It actually worked really nice for that game.
Yeah.
So something like that for this would be great.
Tons of bars you could add, or you could remove them. You could move them anywhere you wanted to on the screen. It was pretty good. I had one other one that this isn't something. This one isn't something that is, I guess, exists as a mod in another game that I'm aware of. More so that it does. Some of the features do exist in other games, and I would like to still see it. And it does exist, I guess, in parts in other mods, and I'd kind of like to see it brought in as a feature of the game, if possible, which would be both Warband waypoints, so that on the map you can target waypoints. And I know Kriss knows what I'm talking about from Planet Side. You can sit there and go, everyone go there. Ba-ding!
Yeah.
And it marks the freaking thing. There's a big beacon and people go, oh, duh, go there. And the other one, it would be having standing orders via text for people in the warbands in your oh god, I just forgot the word for the raid group.
The campaigns.
For your campaign, thank you. So a campaign leader could go, okay, standing order for all warband leaders, and it would just be like a line of text that sits on a certain spot of your UI, determined by the person based on where they put it on their UI or whether they hide it or whatever, that just says, whatever the current standing order is. Go to this location or do this, blah, 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 blah. Could even maybe be sent to every member of the warbands or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So that would be just some basic UI methods of having a campaign leader or even individual warband leaders be able to go, okay, my people do X. Because while I do think it's important to rely on voice communications, one, getting pugs into your Discord and everything is a huge pain in the rear. And two, I do think it's important that we don't get overly dependent on voice comms, and we do still make good in-game features for coordination and organization.
Sure, absolutely. I could see something like that possibly also being like a desktop notification. A lot of people have multi-desktops or multi-screens or alt-tabbed or whatever for a minute while they're waiting for something, and having a little desktop notification that is that chat that you mentioned just show up.
Yeah, I will be bringing this very topic back up in a minute, because I have it in my list to come up
and
again.
Of course, for me as a crafter, having the same kind of things you have in Warframe, which has a in the app for Warframe, you can go to your foundry and start crafting stuff directly from your phone app. So if you can't be at your desktop, you could still be able to do stuff from a phone app to be able to manage your craftings, especially the long ones that take several days, and you need to adjust the settings regularly. Being able to do that from your phone.
Well, now that you've mentioned that, we'll go ahead and skip to that question, which is, what would you like to see if the game were to have like an official phone application, or if other people were to make phone applications that support the game and use the UI, the API? What sort of stuff would be useful to have to be able to pull up on your phone?
This one, that would be the main one.
Being able to craft away, especially with the timers for crafting, having things come on and off timers. I think being able to do that from your phone and not having to log in the game specifically just to requeue something would be pretty nice.
and as I said, they already said that some of the crafts will take days to make for the more legendary ones. being able to not have to sit at your computer all day and for days, but being able to do that from your phone is going to be massively important in terms of quality of life things.
Sure.
That and maybe managing, since you'll be able to set up shop and set up a we don't know exactly how it's going to be, but probably a kind of NPC that can sit at your shop and sell your wares directly from the shop. Maybe being able to manage its inventory and the prices from a phone app would be pretty useful too.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's still important to foster, to foster like human interaction as they've said before. But to some degree, a market is a market. Even if they make them have to walk to a market stall, I mean, it's a market stall.
Yeah.
And at that point, having a convenient way to update whatever's in there or anything is ideal, because the system that they're going to have without an auction house is already making it kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Chat communications are another thing I think you could
definitely
add
from
into
your phone.
an app, being able to
Guild chat.
see your order chats and
at least
respond
your order.
to them.
At least your order.
Warband at least.
And this is also where I was saying I was going to bring up some of the features I just mentioned of like the alerts or the standing orders, being able to send out not only being able to have like your guild chat there, but maybe having it so that people can enable guild alerts, and a guild leader can actually send out like a priority push alert that will do a push notification to the phone if they've enabled it, obviously. Do a push notification that goes, okay, like seriously, get on. Like, we're not just saying we're under attack.
We need you now.
Log in. If you can log in, freaking do it now.
Yeah.
And also having, like I said, those standing orders and things like that I mentioned earlier, having those not just in-game, but having like a phone app so that maybe I don't want that text to show up on my UI in-game, but I could keep my phone on my desk and just have like that standing here. So then, as say like the campaign leader, if I can pull that up and go, okay, squad 1, type, do this. Squad 2, type, do this. And then those squad members have that, and as a persistent thing, like on their phone or whatever, if they use that they can just sit there, or at least the squad leader, so they'll know that's what's going on, just to help keep like voice comms clear, so that, because not everything has to be a voice command. And after 15 minutes, voice comms can be problematic, because we used to have things with like TeamSpeak. We had ways where we could send direct messages to squad leaders within TeamSpeak and only directly communicate to them. And you can't really as easily do that with Discord. So
no, it's true.
There are some places where text
you could send voice messages through channels, through specific channels on TeamSpeak that you can't do in Discord.
That always got confusing.
Yeah. And now, I mean, I guess I could have in Discord, I could have like a private chat with my squad leaders and just send them text messages there, but they can't keep that open and the voice channel visible to see who's talking and stuff at the same time. So it's kind of, there's a lot of finagling there that could be fixed to a certain degree.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Being able to look at the in-game map as it's being updated over time, like maybe every 10 to 15 minutes, as it's updated by scouts or whoever, that you can log into the app and just see kind of the status of the world, what's going on throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you don't have like those standing orders text, having like those beacons, the targeting like objective beacons from the squad leader and stuff on there, so you have your map on your phone and that you have like a little marker going, go here. So then while you're traveling in the world, you can see your thing on your phone going, all right, you're going in the right direction, you're doing this, so you can kind of just, all right, I don't have to pull up the map in game anymore. I can just have it right there.
Yeah.
That's
like
true,
put a tablet up on your phone on your desk, and then
and it just syncs up with your character, shows you where you're at, and shows where you're headed, and you can just be like, cool, all right, I'm because that's always annoying when you're traveling over land. You're having to go, okay, am I going there? Oh, fuck, I got turned around. Okay. Not as
Everyone's gone this way suddenly.
It's not as much of a problem if you do have like a truly big like beacon thing for the squad command, like
Yeah.
Planet Side has, where it's just like go here. But you know, your mission if you choose to accept it.
You could accept your King's rewards via the app, because those happen
rewards,
at the end of the day typically, and maybe you're off your computer at the point that it shows up, and if there's a need to actually like worry about getting it, then you could
even if you don't, because I would assume you don't have to like go in and click it to get it, but getting that bump, that notification that goes like, "This is what you got today," would still be kind of cool.
At least seeing your achievements for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, just at the end of the night, it's like, bling, here's your stuff. Oh, nice. All right, doing whatever I'm doing instead of having to wait till you log on. And also, from a marketing standpoint, that would also probably help to drive people back into the game.
Oh yeah,
to log in.
If you got something cool, it's like, oh, I gotta log in and look at this now.
I got cool stuff. Let me go log into the game. So another question that I had, besides phone app features, unless someone else has phone app features that they would want to see.
No, that was the main ones.
Was specifically, what are there any specific types of mods or add-ons for the game that you think are definitively third party? Like they're things you would like to see for the game, but it's not enough that you feel like the developers would have to add it as a feature.
Yes and no. I like transmog type things. I like being able to look unique and to have some visual way to differentiate myself from people and to just make cool outfits. And it doesn't seem like they're gonna be doing too much of that. So having a third party app to handle that to some extent, like having people make custom visuals off of the actual mesh information that already exists and just kind of swapping out designs and colors without affecting anything else would be nice.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That could be. I don't know how much, because they were saying also they want to make the client as dumb as possible and handle as much as possible server side. So I don't know what would if it would be possible to do that.
I would think it would.
That would be a cool thing to do.
Because that would just be visually on your PC side. It wouldn't change it for anybody else. It would only change it for you personally, how your character looks. They certainly couldn't do a mod where it changes your appearance for everybody else. That would have to be a game feature.
I mean, they do have the die system that will be in to help with that, but an actual like true kind of transmog system, even if it's just on my end, would be fun for me.
Yeah, I definitely hope they do put some work into the die system. That's something that's always very useful, even if it's just at the bare minimum, just color matching on gear.
Like better color matching than SWTOR at least. Not that smart color matching crap they had.
Theirs is actually, I mean, I don't know if they updated it or not, but theirs is actually pretty good now. At least I haven't had any problems since I started playing it again. So
it didn't used to be very well. Like you were limited in what you could do.
I think probably a part of that is
FF14 has a fairly good
now, but
FF14 has a fairly good glamour system, which is the transmog, where you can actually completely take the visuals of a piece of equipment and put it on another one, and then on top of that dye that new look with however you want.
Yeah, one of the ways Tor kind of helped to fix that is they basically gave you different costume sets like that, where you can wear whatever you want as armor, and then you can just go, I want to look like this, click, and you just look at the other armor set. Which is really good for RP because you can have multiple of them and you can just switch them at a button. So you can be like, flip, 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 flip.
It's the same in FF14. What they call the glamour plates.
Yeah.
Where you have basically a special look that you can apply.
Yeah, that's something I would like to see actually in game as a feature.
That would be nice.
Because again, as an add-on, I don't think there's any way to do that where it actually affects how other people see you. It's just a personal kind of thing, which can be nice, but not terribly useful. I think
depending on what they're doing with ears, which is the visual element of things kind of happening around you. I could see aura based. They have it for a while. I think it's called auras, which is a mod that kind of tells you what's going on with yourself, like what debuffs you have on you or what buffs you have on you, and managing those.
Yeah, I think those, any kind of like, a lot of those UI mods are things that people are going to want. They're going to come out pretty quick in different forms, especially in a game like this where there's so many different things going on. There's going to be a lot of different specialized desires for different things. Like me, I like kind of what they're going with. I like kind of the more open, cinematic, less UI intensive layout for the games. I'm not as much of a min-maxer with regards to that. I like to be efficient, but I don't want a million like auras on myself and other things tell me everything that's going on right now.
Really
Because
don't
I'm
like
like, oh, it's so ugly. I can't stand to look at it. It's just too much
as
stuff.
they were saying, playing the UI.
Yeah, but some people want that. I mean, they just want pure efficiency. I want to know everything so I can be the absolute best. And that's fine. Yeah, there's definitely going to need to be mods for that sort of thing. I would say another one. This is one that I'm kind of halfway. Like, I feel like they need a decent system in the game for showing things like, say, keep damage. As you're bombarding a keep, there needs to be a decent way to show keep damage. But based on what we've seen so far, I have a feeling they're not looking at it in terms of showing you like an actual health bar or something for the keep as you're damaging
it's going to be more visual.
That's going to be, I'm like that. I feel like that's got to be a UI thing. Like someone's going to throw that in there because that is one I would add. Probably. I would straight up just go, no, I want a health bar for the wall while I'm smashing it. Even if it's an estimate based on the materials of said wall and what damage we're doing, I want something that tells me how much damage my squad is doing to that wall.
No, definitely that's something, because visuals is nice, but if you're in the middle of a big battle, or if you're far away, and you can't really see.
Am I at 35% or am I at 20%? It's important.
See, that might be hard to do given how I think the walls are made, even with player-made structures. It's not like one wall; it's multiple blocks. Each have their own health. So if something like that,
it depends on each other's health.
That's true.
The stability of the wall.
So you might have like hundreds of little tiny bars on this wall somewhere. Each segment,
which might not be very practical either.
On the other hand,
you could have, on the other hand, applying a filter on the wall. Some people might have where each block, the color, like a filter on the block, where the color changes on each block's health, and so you can see better than hundreds of tiny health bars, but like the squares changing colors as they take damage.
That's true. That's true.
I would hate that because that would look like crap. But some people might need it.
I would say that would be a really good thing to add in a mod with a hotkey, so I could toggle it on and off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, totally.
Like healer vision, just click. Oh, there we go. Click. All right, it's gone now.
Yeah.
It's like walking around playing Diablo and holding what was like Z to see all the loot on the floor.
Yeah. Or another thing would be like if they had something with a hotkey, so you could toggle and see. You could average, a mod could average the damage. So because there's lots of different blocks, but it could just say, okay, this target area in front of you, and average out what the last what it is. If some of them are 50%, some of them are 40, or whatever, and at least give you an approximation for the percentage, or show you what the lowest one is.
Yeah,
because that's really what we're ultimately involved in. Okay, how soon till I make a hole?
Right.
What's the lowest percentage on here?
And maybe someone super smart with this stuff could figure out how to show just one health pool for the entire wall. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I did in that remember something I would like for like a phone app, which is keep alerts for like a guild keep.
Oh yeah.
Now that depends, of course, how they do like notifications and map notifications and stuff in game when your keep gets attacked. But just having something on the phone so that you can be notified out of game if one of those alerts does go out and your keep is being attacked and people are aware of it, so you immediately can go bing, oh shit.
Something that no, go ahead.
To the same degree, scout notifications, a scout in your order specifically could, ping something on the map or send something back to the order or wherever that information goes and gets updated to then update your phone app as part of that order.
One thing that most devs don't really take the time to do, and that would definitely be a mod option that I would love, it's inventory sorting mod.
Yes. Absolutely.
Especially as a crafter, being able to sort your inventory by categories, by quality, by just having filters to sort your inventory would be extremely useful, especially in the long run. Probably not at the beginning of the game, but like 6 months into the game, when you have dozens of different materials, all at different quality, being able to sort through it and not having to go through every single one to find the one you need would be extremely time saving.
Yeah, this is a total aside, but this is one of the things that I would kind of like to see is, I mean, we're going to have a lot of them in this game because of the refinement process, but games be crazy with all their different materials. Like, seriously, do we really need like 12 different grades of copper? In this game, they're going to be different percentages of quality and stuff, but you know what I mean? Where it's like every zone has their own version of this flower, and it's like, come on, guys, seriously. Like,
that's going to be a bit different in this game.
Yeah, because there's not the progression to have to go gather it. So there's going to be different materials and stuff. And I'm like, if you really want to rank it up, just add like one new material or something in this zone that's necessary to bump it up or something. But there to a certain extent, it has to be an issue. But it's like, can you maybe just think about that and pare it down a little bit, because my inventory is hurting for all this
but that's
crap.
going to be different in this game because the raw materials are going to be the same for all. Yeah. It will depend. Then it will depend on how you refine it. So that's the player's choice to decide how they want to refine it. Or if you want to keep your, as I would probably do, is keeping your raw material until you need it and refine exactly what you need at the quality you need.
Yeah, what I would really like to see, I think that what really does cause this biggest problem with that, and I know I'm kind of off topic here, is obsolescence of crafting materials. You get all these different low-level things that are no longer useful to anybody after like the first couple days of playing, and then you just
hopefully that's not going to happen in this game.
Still, I have them all floating around. So if they could just at least be upgraded by people with higher skill levels.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know it's off topic, so I'm going to stop.
Definitely a inventory sorting, and that's something that I would love to see. But being able to have a sort of notebook, but especially for selling and buying stuff, where you can write, you can set up the location where you found it, the vendor, and the price. And so you can go through the different regions. Since it's all going to be localized, being able to go through the region and seeing which region had the lowest, rather than having, I don't mind having my pen and paper on the side of my desk and writing stuff down. I've done it for years. But yeah, something like that. Otherwise I'm going to have a text doc open on the second monitor just to write that stuff down. But it's just quality of life stuff, basically.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's been a few weeks since I've been in beta, but I want to say that inventory UI has tabs already organized for certain things like weapons versus armor versus material. Yeah, but having that another step down from that to organize
like
those
filtering
specific tabs with things, would be great.
Yeah, one of the things I think there's definitely going to be in the game as a mod that I don't necessarily want, but is going to be in there, is going to be crafter support mods to cheese the crafting system as much as the UI and the game data allows. And we've talked about this before, like how many guides there are going to exist to how to create things and crafting everything. Those mods are going to come out as much as is possible. And as much as I would like to be able to be like, no, the game, you will have to discover everything. No, it's gonna.
That's not gonna happen.
Before the game is released, there will be guides for that stuff, which means there will probably very quickly be mods for as much of it as possible. Depending
Hopefully
on the
not
mod support for the game. I mean,
a mod that just has all the crafting recipes in it, and you can just cycle through it and just look at what you're trying to make and figure out what you need.
Yeah, or like when you're doing like active crafting events, ones that just kind of flash a certain thing when you need to do something on the Vox to go like, oh, hey, like you're having to do a thing. This is this is happening now. Oh yeah, thanks mod that helped me. This is like, oh well, the game
automation.
Especially if it's anything where the game's like, you must pay attention to this thing. There's gonna be a mod to just go like, bonk. All right, click the button. Good to go. Yeah.
You might even expand the button so you don't even have to aim for it. It's just like it directs your mouse to the button.
It may even auto click the button.
Yeah,
possibly.
Depends on what it is, but
I hope not.
Make it so you don't have to do anything except watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to.
I don't think they're gonna open the API that much.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be hard for them to prevent some of that, a lot of that to some degree.
Yeah.
Siri, what's my cloth skill up at this point? Yeah, let's talk about Siri apps. No, let's not. Alexa, order me more ore.
They seem to have some type of deal with Amazon or some. They talk about Amazon a lot. Oh, they use Amazon cloud servers.
The servers. They use the cloud servers.
So maybe they'll import Alexa commands into the game.
They'll add a little sprite in game. It's like a little like Navi like fairy that flies around, and her name is Alexa.
Yeah.
That's how the scouts update the map. They have a little fairy companion named Alexa that follows them around and goes, Alexa, update the map. Okay. All right. So, I mean, people in chat, do y'all have any specific mods and things that you want to see coming out for Camelot Unchained?
Do you think there should be mods?
Yeah.
Do you think there
should be? The thing is, I differentiate between mods and add-ons because we talked a lot about the mods.
I use them interchangeably.
A lot of them, The thing is, for me, add-ons are the visual changes, adding a health bar, adding different UI elements. Those are for me add-ons. The mods are the ones that are actually going to pull in the game's functions to add features within the constraints allowed by the developers, but still it's more actual commands and features added on top of the game rather than the add-ons that are just more visuals, pulling informations from the API rather than trying to inject commands in it.
I use them the same.
Yeah. Here's a question for you.
It's probably because I've learned, I've used those terms more in EQ where mods were not allowed, but add-ons were. And that's why they differentiated them a lot, because you were not allowed. It was a bannable offense to put a mod in the game, but add-ons for the UI, you had several websites that were doing that.
There was a question in chat for you, Kriss, about whether or not they've mentioned any kind of recycling in CU for like crafting mats and things of that nature.
Yeah, actually, yeah. The last cycle of crafting is recycling. When a weapon breaks, you can get some a weapon or an equipment breaks. You can get some materials back from it. So you can actually recycle some of it.
There you go. Okay, so I'm down to pretty much my last question on this topic.
Yeah, go for it.
been kind of breezing through them a little bit, which is more of a bit more of a fluffy topic, because I do like to end on fluffy notes. Are there any fun mods or add-ons, like things that aren't necessarily important for your gameplay, but just fun mods that you would like to see in the game at some point, as third-party mods?
Yes.
There's one that there's one that comes to mind, but that would probably not be as impactful as it used to be. In EQ, regenerating your mana was taking such a long time, and you had to look at your spell book as you were doing it, at least in the first years also. Then you could actually look at your environment, but for the most time, you had to sit down for a full health for a full mana bar. Sometimes it would take 30 minutes, and so they had in the game a command that was /gems, and you had a mini game of gems in the game to pass the time as you were waiting for your mana to come back up. So it's little mini games like that.
If you
just
could
to
ride on a caravan,
pass the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Even in game, like chess, or not chess, but like simple board games that you could do in the game.
I would like to see. I would actually. I think every MMO I've followed, I have suggested having mini games as a built-in feature of the game.
Yeah.
To varying degrees, and almost no MMO does it. I mean, they have like mini games, but they don't have like literally a place for you to go and play cards. And go and play Dejaric. I mean, come on.
Oh, that was the thing when SWTOR came out. Like, a lot of people were like, "Can we go into a bar and sit down at a table and have like our own Pazak user interface game where we can play with other people and make that a thing? Gamble our credits away."
It's like people
That's a good money sink
if it was in there, and then they're like SW Tour added an event where you can play slot machines basically. But it happens like once a year, and it's like if I could play
imagine being able to make
people,
a casino. Like it's a built element in the game, and like playing tables, and somebody can make inside a tavern a small casino area.
Mod where you can play an MMO inside the MMO.
That exists actually. Well, it's not considered an MMO, but I don't know if you guys follow MMO websites, but Second Life has some areas where they created MMOs in the game, apparently.
But I mean, Second Life is not really like an MMO.
It's not really an MMO. Yeah, it's not really a game.
But still.
But yeah. But no, mini games in the game.
In our life.
I would love mini games. Love mini games. I would also love for a mod that allows you to either use other people's pre-made or your own pre-made, if you were graphically inclined, textures that the game redirects to those textures from your mod, so that on your end you have kind of your own visual look on the world, and you can do some really just fun, silly shit with that, or you can just completely remake the textures just on your end.
Just cover the map.
Just have some Gwent in the game.
You know, you could have,
that's what would happen.
Like Unicorn Land. You know, everything's pink and fluffy, and
I would actually think that would be pretty awesome. Like basically
that'd
Minecraft.
Be fun.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah,
you just have remapping of everything. That'd be pretty hilarious. And then there's that one guy who just has penis land. Because that's how people be. The one for me that I was thinking of, which we actually kind of discussed at a different thing, was having a map icon for all the different places you've died. Like a little tombstone icon on your map, just showing like you've died here.
At some point, you won't see the map anymore.
Yeah, toggle that off. It's too much.
This is everywhere.
So just like do it for the last. Put a filter. The last month, the last 2 months, the last 6 months, and since the beginning of the game. And then you toggle since the beginning of the game. All you see is the markers. There's no map left anymore.
Even if it wasn't on the map, maybe
Yeah.
just some sort of thing in the world space itself. As you're walking through the world, you see like an spiritual, apparition of your former self,
A
kind of just
tombstone.
floating there. Yeah, that'd be funny.
All right. So, farming mod would be neat. I mean, they are going to have some degrees of farming in the
I
game
mean, yeah,
as
there's going to be
part of the
husbandry.
gathering system. So,
I believe that they haven't talked about it in forever, but at some point they were talking about husbandry for leather.
mhm. And I feel like
So,
it did passingly come up in one of the streams at one point recently, like as a stray comment, like, "Oh, you just be gathering animals and stuff," and and then I was like,
mm.
I think that's still a thing. It won't necessarily need a mod for that, but
I think there's enough ways of dying not to add diseases on top of that.
Chat bubble mods. I don't think right now there are any chat bubbles in the
oh
game.
god, yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a thing that comes up for RPers in like every MMO.
Yeah.
People are like, chat bubbles, give them to me, and I'll be
Nope.
honest, I'm one of the only MMO RPers that does not want to use chat bubbles. Like
I,
people
I
are like,
really,
chat
I
bubbles. I'm like,
really hate
no, I'm
chat
good.
bubbles.
I'll pass.
I hate chat bubbles.
Right now, the only chat feature is a universal server chat that you can access even when you're not logged into the game.
Yeah.
You just have to have the client open. It's a client chat, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. What
Hopefully that's gonna come out with the full game also.
what I really want is one of the things I used to love is in WoW there was a WoW Instant Messenger mod that took your stupid annoying little chat box and you could break out different types of chats into pop-up windows like old school instant messenger chat windows, and you could you could collapse them away, but then you could like click them, so if you have whispers with different people you could pull them in and out. You could have party chat, all kinds of stuff, so it wasn't in like your little annoying box, but you could actually pull it up and make it bigger, and it let you type beyond the word limit.
Nice.
It still posted it in the word limit, but basically you could just type a whole thought, then hit enter, and it would go boop 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 boop, instead of you having to go da da enter da 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 enter da 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 enter.
That's helpful.
It was awesome. I don't know if it's still being updated or not because I don't
Probably
play WoW,
not.
but
Probably not.
it was
Probably
pretty
not.
cool.
Yeah. They probably removed the word limits now.
They have as of last year they didn't. Maybe with the new expansion they did.
It's like that's an issue with Tor as well. Is because I IRP on there now, and just the word cap is just so annoying because it's small too. You just like type.
Yeah.
Plus
It's like
sign
Twitter level.
enter da 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 da. Get like 2 sentences.
I remember
in.
doing something in WoW that required you to have a mod that increased the chat limit in order to successfully manage what you were trying to do. They recommended having a certain mod or two.
Yeah.
To perform that thing. So.
Which is weird, yeah. Having required mods when it should be a game feature is just, yeah.
Let's fix that stuff that y'all
Yeah.
set up.
But yeah, I don't know how you could implement that, but having a way of contributing to the game while on your phone or your tablet, like maybe controlling an NPC that's guarding the keep, like simple commands, just simple
camera view.
Don't you move this MMO onto my phone? Don't you people have phones?
Yeah. No, but for example, like guard the front door or guard the tower, or like simple text commands, not actually playing the game on the tablet, but being able to contribute. If you can't be at your computer while there's a siege, when you get to the siege alert, you could take control of a NPC and at least kind of contribute. But I don't know how feasible that would.
Depends on how they do sieges and stuff. I'm still really hoping that they find a way to balance siege and stuff so that if there are people defending the keep, there aren't going to be NPCs there defending the keep, because I kind of hate the PV NPC thing.
Yeah.
Like if there's no one there, by all means have guards. But if it's like there's people defending, I don't want people defending and guards.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how many people are there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they plan to do that. At any rate, it seems like we've covered the length and breadth of our questions. So, and chat has not much else here. Some tattoo mods. Character appearance mods and stuff on your end. Kind of discussed that. I would definitely like to have some of that, if depending on what's in game. But so I'll go ahead and just end the recording here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It has been a good season full of episodes. We got through like 10, 11 episodes this season, and we will be back in a couple of months. We don't know when the next episode's actually going to be. We haven't planned that far ahead yet. But hopefully there'll be some more game information out at that time. We say that every season, and
there should be. Things are looking pretty good.
We'll
a lot more gameplay stuff being done, less tech.
We'll see. So we will see all of you around. I will, of course.
Thanks for watching.
I'll continue having my RPG game live streams on Fridays for the most part, Friday nights. So catch everybody later.
Later.
See you later.